I want to welcome everybody here today. We have a great announcement again for Northumberland County, and of course the presenters who you really want to hear from are our MP Kim Rudd and MPP Rinaldi. But you know, I think it's just so wonderful here in Northumberland County that they have formed such a great partnership to support so many of our initiatives in the county of Northumberland. You know, housing being one of them, and you know, the fight against poverty being another. All of those things are going to be affected by the announcement that you hear today. So I think it's absolutely good news. You know, with our housing first strategy in addressing poverty, you're going to see that there's going to be great benefit. And of course, in Northumberland County, we have more than 300 people on the waiting list for affordable housing. So all of this stuff is going to be such a great help to us here. And I'm not just talking about Coburg. I'm talking as a warden, and I'm talking about the county itself. So without any further delay, I'm going to call on MP Kim Rudd, first of all, for her part of it. Kim?
Thank you, Gil. Thank you. Thank you, Gil. A gorgeous Friday to be out here. Sun shining and lots of good news. I'm very happy to be here today, and I really do want to thank Lou and his staff for putting this announcement together on Friday. Sometimes I know it's a bit of a challenge, and so I'm really thrilled and happy that we have so much media out here. Our government made a clear commitment during our campaign that for the first time in a decade, social housing dollars would be a priority for the federal government. I think announcements like this also show how we as governments have come together to partner for the betterment of our mutual constituents. Today's announcement will mean the doubling of current funding in affordable housing levels by the Government of Canada, provinces and territories to more than $1 billion over 2 years, starting in 2016-17 and in 2017-18. Through the Investments in Affordable Housing Program, the Government of Canada is also providing over 2 years across Canada, $200.1 million to support the construction, repair, and adaptation of affordable housing for seniors. $89.9 million to support victims of family violence and the construction and renovation of shelters and transition houses. And $177.7 million to address the housing needs in the North and Inuit communities. We also are announcing $573.9 million to support retrofits and renovations of social housing units in Canada. At least $485 million is also provided through the IAH, and $82.7 million is delivered by the Government of Canada through the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. For Ontario, this will mean almost $67.2 million to support the construction, repair, and adaptation of affordable housing for seniors. More than $27.9 million to support the construction and renovation of shelters and transition houses for victims of family violence. And almost $209.4 million to help address the increasing demand for repairs as social housing units age and to improve efficiency and reduce energy and water use. Through these funding grants, more seniors, more victims of family violence, and those currently living in social housing in Northumberland County will all have access to better quality homes, and I think that's something today we can be very proud of. Thank you very much. On to the good news. Other good news.
Other news. Thank you. Well, thanks, Kim. Thanks, Gil. Good to be in Coburg, Northumberland County, of course. And on a bright, sunny day on Friday, what else would you rather do, right? Just to hear from some politicians. So let me first of all say, Kim, thank you very much for being here. It was a bit tight to try to arrange our schedule to fit, but once in a while they do fit. And beyond that, thanks to our new federal government for the partnership that now we can really talk about and partner in. It's real stuff. And this, what we're talking about today, when it comes to social housing or assisted housing, it's only the beginning in all the other sectors. And I look forward with Kim future days to make some of those announcements that come to fruition. And I mean, they were only elected less than a year, 8 months.
8 months.
And we're now starting to see results already, so it's phenomenal. So, I guess the good news, your worship, and to Lisa that's here, the good news, you're going to get more money. The bad news, you got more work to do. Which is
We'll
okay.
take it.
We'll take it. So, the point I'm trying to make today, a couple of specific examples how they impact Northumberland County. So for the year, through the investment in affordable housing initiative, for 2016-17, almost $1 million, and that's a partnership between the federal government and the provincial government, in those investments that will help, well, I should back up a bit, through our provincial new housing strategy, which was announced not too long ago. It's given service delivery agencies, like the one in Northumberland, a lot of flexibility where they can use those dollars. So it's not just to replace a piece of glass, it's to help with subsidized rent, it's to help for short term. So that almost $1 million this year, just short of $1 million for 2016, will help you to help those folks most in need. And then next year, another $700,000 to do basically the same thing. So over the next 2 years, I think that's a boost. And that's up and above what the provincial government committed not too long ago, about $400 million. The count was about 4 million, 4.1 million. So that's up and above. So there is a lot of work to be done. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to try be part of our new Ministry of Housing and poverty reduction really fits well. These are the type of things that we will be addressing. So I just want to say thank you to the providers that have been lobbying both levels of government. And personally thank you to the federal government for coming back in the housing piece. So I'm delighted and I look forward to actually seeing some of these results. I mean, I don't know about Montgomery County, but Toronto's got about 2,500 units that frankly need repair. Nobody could use them. That's a big chunk of people living on the street or, living under substandard conditions. And I'm sure we have the same circumstances here. So at least this will help push us out of the hole. So again, thank you, and it's a pleasure being here. And if media's got any questions, now's the time. Yes?
Yeah. Now, with money flowing, I'd like to pose this question to the mayor. When will we see shovels in the ground for low-income housing in Northumberland?
You will see shovels in the ground within the next few months. We have an RFP out right now that's being evaluated. So you will see the next affordable housing project will be taking place in Coburg, and the target group is seniors. So we're expecting that by the end of the summer. Now Lisa Horn is here. She is the former manager of housing for the county. Now she is the director of social services, and she'll have maybe a better feel for it. But I do believe, Lisa, by the end of the summer we will see some activity.
Which is soon. I mean, things don't usually move this fast, right, John?
Well, the need is there.
Well,
And
get it
just
done.
so you know, when I talk about affordable housing, even though this one is targeted for Coburg, I'm speaking as the warden, because the affordable housing doesn't always happen in Coburg. Our last round of affordable housing took place in Campbellford, in the municipality of Trent Hills.
We had some in Port Hope.
And we have social housing in every one of the 7 municipalities of the county. So as MP Rudd said, there will be funding to maintain those structures as well. That's very important to us because some of the housing is 30 years old and it needs constant repair. So that funding is going to be a great asset for those facilities, because we do have an asset management program to make sure that we keep them up to a certain standard, Kim. So again, it's so nice to have a federal government that is living up to its promise.
Well, I also want to say about the money for those units that are 30 years old, as you mentioned, Gil, because as I've gone around the riding, especially in small communities where there is affordable housing, the maintenance costs on those units, whether it be for heating or electricity, they're not energy bonuses down the road as this progresses.
And one of the things I neglected to mention, specifically for Ontario, there's for 2016-17, so over $700,000 strictly from the federal government to do those quick repairs.
I just wanted to make sure there is no specific dollar funding announcement for a specific project today that's coming.
So what exactly? So what I basically said, what the province has initiated and what the federal government is partnering with us is we're providing assistance, money, and leave the flexibility because no two communities are the same, no two regions are the same. So the folks on the ground, like Lisa and County Council and local municipal, will know best where to invest the money. So we distribute some rules, absolutely, but those decisions are not driven top down. They're bottom up.
Just to clarify
Sure.
then, the $968,000, is that the total that is going to be the
So no, all three amounts over the 2 years, so it's 1.6, just over 2 million, almost $2.5 million over the next
On
2 years.
top of the investments we've already made.
Are these two separate programs, the IAH and the SHI?
They are. So from an Ontario standpoint, they're all under the affordable housing strategy. The IAH is an investment in affordable housing initiative. And that's what we talked about replacing. Or the county, in this case, will have the flexibility solution. The $764,000 that's strictly federal, and that's more to retrofit those green initiatives to make, as Kim said, to replace those red belts. But so the two is well over $2 million over 2 years. Up and above, as you heard Mayor Brock here, provincially, some $4.1 million that shovels for that are going around this year.
So is the SHIP program a federal program?
It's a joint program, but to be fair, that's
And what we're endeavoring to do, you may have noticed, both during the campaign and since we've been in government, is we talk about partnerships. So we're trying to streamline in as many ways as we can with provincial and regional governments to get the most bang for our buck, as opposed to announcing something for this that's federal or this that's provincial. We're really looking at providing the money that in a cohesive way to the folks that actually know where the money needs to go. And that's a big change from before. So I think you're going to see some of the names of these programs change. As we just want to get the money out the door quickly and not miss this building season. Getting money out the door as a federal government that's only since November 4th been in government is pretty historic. Things don't usually move quite that fast.
So would it be safe to say it's a federal provincial investment of over $2 million in the
Correct.
next 2 years?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, on top of the current investment.
Okay.
And you will be hearing more announcements coming.
Is there any conditions on the municipalities to do it? Is it fairly free? I don't think so.
well, there is some
Well,
conditions.
it has to deal with affordable housing. but there really is, there are, what do I call, directives around things like, for instance, some of the federal money around clean energy. And I bring up the issue because there, as I went around the riding during the campaign and since then and talked to municipalities that have affordable housing, but the tenants are responsible for paying the electricity, or the municipality is. And what they're saying is because costs for heating and depending on how you heat can be quite high, it's not allowing, it's taking too much out of the income that the residents are getting to pay their own utility bills. And frankly, it's not energy efficient. And we all know we need to be energy efficient and reduce our greenhouse gases. So as I said, I think that there's going to be a lot of trickle down, a lot of momentum from this that will come in other areas that we don't necessarily anticipate.
So do you think with capital improvements as well as new units?
Yeah,
Well,
eventually.
they're building some new
They're
units here.
building
New
yes.
units here.
But there's also money to retrofit what is currently out there, and then there's money for new